guys? Welcome to the Banter podcast. Kyle is going crazy, but he's one of our analysts, and we got Brennan, and I'm Korey. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Great. It's draft day. It's the best day in sports, honestly. I mean, you have NHL playoffs on tonight. You have NBA playoffs on tonight. The MLB is in full swing, and the NFL Draft, all four major sports, getting action tonight. It's awesome. Couldn't be any happier.
I wish I had some Steelers. Unfortunately, that's all been packed up, so I don't know.
It's all right. Yep.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Hey,
we're
good
heading
win
back.
for Miami last night.
Yeah. Huge. Hey, Kyle, fist bump through the screen. The only two road playoff teams to win a game on the road. I think so.
I think that is right. Yeah. But as Kyle said, he packed up because we are going in person soon here. It's going to be exciting. But we've got 2 more weeks on the virtual format, and this week I will be hosting. And just to run through the format before we begin, the way it's going to work is Brennan and Kyle are going to try to reach 10 agreements on questions that I ask. They're going to have 35 seconds each to explain their views, their initial views on it, on each question before talking about it for a minute 30. Or if they get lucky and they have the same view right off the bat, then we're just going to discuss their opinion for a minute. If they can't get to 10 agreements in a 25-minute allotment, then they're going to move into a speed round, which I think I neglected to plan. So hopefully you guys do a good job here because we're going to ask some random questions.
I think that should be like a default win for us because you forgot the speed round.
No, I mean, honestly, the speed round in concept is supposed to be just on a whim questions, but yeah, we've made it fancy in recent weeks. But anyway, let's just try to avoid that from the get-go and get this going on 25 minutes, shall we?
Sure.
Ready, Kyle?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Then our 25 minutes starts after I ask the first question, which is going to be in the NHL. So we do have some big game series tonight. It's Thursday. But before we film those, what series do you think is definitely ending in a sweep?
We should agree here.
Yeah, I have. All right, I have the same one. I'm not going to type my answer. We have the same one.
We do have the Rangers and the Capitals. Let's talk about that for a minute.
So the Rangers are, simply put, they're the better team in this series. I mean, the Capitals, they came in, they barely snuck into the playoffs because of how weak the rest of the Eastern Conference was at the middle of the pack towards the bottom. I mean, they had a negative 37 goal differential on the year. They're getting absolutely killed on the power play, in the penalty kill, everywhere on the ice. It's just, I know they played better in game 2, but I really don't see a world where the Capitals come out in this one.
And the number one guy, Ovechkin, he has one shot in the last 2 games here, which is not too great. And in general, they only have 21 shots on goal in game 1, 25 in game 2. So they're not shooting the puck as much as they should be doing now. And again, you just they kind of limited in the playoffs to begin with. I fully agree.
Yeah, no matter who the Rangers.
Now more than ever, I think the Rangers are hungry because they see Dallas losing to Vegas right now, and they're like, "This is our time. This is the opportunity."
This has got to be the Rangers' year. I mean, I think they're the most talented team in the NHL right now, and they could go on a run. I mean, whoever drew the Rangers out of that wild card spot, they were gonna probably get swept regardless of who it was.
Good discussion, guys. So that's all we're really going to talk about for the NHL because the other question I had was also about the Capitals, and you guys just dogged on them for a while. And that works for me.
True.
So let's head to the other big playoff sphere, which is the NBA. In this first round series, what is the must-see player versus player matchup that we've seen in this first round?
Okay, I have kind of a dark horse one actually.
Apparently not.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay,
shit.
so okay, all right.
Interesting. All right, so we have a same team, a same series, but different matchups. So, Kyle, let's hear you first.
So
I kind of agree with Brendan. He said Siakam and Antetokounmpo, but Siakam didn't have the big game until recently, and Antetokounmpo is not even playing right now. So I said Halliburton and Lillard because I kind of had the 2 sides of the pie saying, can Halliburton kind of rekindle the really good success he had at the beginning of the season that it's kind of tapered off since the All-Star break? And can Damian Lillard still be the first option on a team in the playoffs this deep, or does he need that help? Does he need a guy, a big man, to help him? Because personally, I don't know if I really trust them. I probably have the Pacers over them right now. We'll see.
All right, and Brennan.
All right, so I mean, Dame clearly has shown that he can still be the guy after these couple. But like Kyle said, I had Siakam versus Giannis. This hasn't happened yet because Giannis has been hurt. But when it does, it's going to be awesome. I mean, Siakam is having a tremendous playoff series so far. He's put up 35 points in each of his couple games, in each of the 2 games. He had a double-double in game 1. He's been he's been just tremendous. And Giannis, every time he plays the Pacers, he's putting up 40 a game. He's putting up 60 a game. And then, of course, just the Pacers rivalry with the Bucks. So
all right, so let's see who wins the battle between the hypothetical and the actual matchup. Go.
Yeah.
I feel like by virtue I should win here because the other one, the one that you're giving, has not happened yet. And if I'm being quite honest,
that's why I said I'm most excited to see because it hasn't happened. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love yours, but who's really carrying the Pacers in the playoffs right now? Is it Tyrese or is it Siakam?
very, very well. And Tyrese,
Okay.
I think he scored 8 or 9 points in game 1. He rebounded pretty well in game 2.
He's obviously going to put up 10 plus assists per game. He's going to score somewhere between 10 and 20 points. But what Siakam is doing right now, he's probably going to match Giannis. And if what Giannis has been doing against the Pacers this season continues into the playoffs when he plays, I think you have to watch Siakam versus Giannis.
Well, I don't disagree with anything you're saying here, but if we're being quite honest, if things come to worst for the Bucks right now, we may not even see this matchup happen. Because honestly, I would not take it from the Pacers to win the rest of the series all the way through. So being quite honest with you, I don't know how long Antetokounmpo is going to be out for. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think you have to argue position to position. It's the old guy versus the new guy. Can the new guy still play at a consistent level that he started with at the beginning of the year? Can the old guy still lead a team?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. These are 2 really, really good players. Dame has been balling out. And you know what?
So, Brennan, at the end of the day, are you tuning in to watch the Halliburton-Damian Lillard matchup, or are you watching?
I'm tuning into right now.
Giannis Pascal.
So,
You know what? I'll agree with
that. I can make the argument that eventually that will be correct if it does happen, but right now it's the only option that I
Okay. If it does happen, I agree. All right, so I'll agree with Kyle on that. If it does happen, I think it is.
That's
but
2 agreements. I
Halliburton
disagree more, but 2 agreements. So let's
Not
go.
the name of the game.
Let's go to the. I agree. So let's go to the big headline of today, as of now, whenever we're filming this, and also it'll be tomorrow too, which is the NFL Draft. The draft is here. So, which major offensive position player, however you want to say this, who do you think can be plugged in now at the NFL level?
Wait, so are we saying position or is this specific player?
Player, yeah.
I mean, I was thinking player, but I know
Okay.
Kyle's answer. So, and he didn't necessarily follow that.
I'll pick one from my. I listed a bunch. Okay. I mean, I think it's a bad favorite.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
honestly, I think
Brennan,
that's.
go ahead.
All right, so I said Marvin Harrison Jr., and I mean, just don't overthink this, right? He is the best wide receiver prospect in this class. He's going to come in. He's going to make a day 1 impact on a team, probably the Cardinals, with Kyler Murray. It's going to be a lethal duo. He's an elite route runner, great deep ball skills. He has the skill to win at all 3 phases of the route. He has the character traits to be a tremendous wide receiver in the league. And I mean, you can't. There's a reason this guy is outside of Caleb Williams. I think he's the number 2 prospect in the draft right now because Marvin Harrison is just. He's that special of a talent.
And Kyle.
Okay.
Okay, Brennan. I agree with you fully, but let me speak here. So I think the question is what position in general is the best plug and play. I think historically, and especially this year, it's offensive tackle. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's arguably the best offensive tackle draft we've had in years. J.C. Latham out of Alabama. I said Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. There's so many.
Olu.
Olu Fashanu out of
Shout
Penn
out
State.
Olu, Penn State.
They could all go top 20 this year, and I think that is one of the best offensive line drafts we can have in the entire year. That being said, in my notes I said there are guys at other offensive positions that are just slam dunks, and I had Caleb Williams and I had Marvin Harrison. So I totally agree with you. I think that kid's catch radius is insane. A little bit is in the name with Marvin Harrison Jr., but like we saw him play Brennan, and we know how awesome
dude's elite. No, and I love the Joe Alt selection too, and I love the offensive line picks as well. I mean, they really are plug and play. And at the end of the day, though, I mean, you've seen receivers also be plug and play. I mean, it's just both of these positions in the draft tonight, especially, like, you are going to get franchise guys. I mean, the fact that you're seeing Olu like dropping to like pick 20 or something because of how deep everything else is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I can't wrap my head around because these are both great.
Well, I think Kyle fully agrees with you on Marvin
I fully
Harrison
agree with you, Brennan.
All right. Okay.
So
Cool. Perfect. No need to argue that. Yeah.
But yeah, we did give some love to the offensive tackles out there.
Shout out to the O-line.
Which is nice to hear.
They build the trenches. They're the heart and soul of that team. Of all teams.
That's going to be 3 agreements. And sticking in the NFL, we're going to talk about another big headline from this week is that Amon Ra St. Brown is now the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, who should make the most money as a wide receiver in the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 1 minute, Justin Jefferson. Let's give him some love.
No. First of all, I do want to give my flowers to the Sun God. I think Amon Ra St. Brown has done a terrific job at Detroit.
Absolutely love him.
Jefferson, honestly, he's only 24 years old. He's easily the best receiver in the league, I think.
Yep.
He's one of the only players in the league right now that I would be like, here's a blank check, put whatever amount of money you want on it. Because he is that much of a game breaker.
Oh, yeah.
He only played 10 games last year, and he got 1,000 yards receiving. I think that's insane.
Exactly. No, Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, the best player at the position should make the most money. Marvin Harrison is the best wide receiver in the league. He should make the most money. Did I say? Who did I say? Marvin Harrison? I'm still on the Marvin Harrison night. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league. He should be paid the most. It's just plain and simple. Gonna keep it short and sweet.
It seems that they're either rolling with Sam Darnold at quarterback or a rookie, so the money on the offense is not going to be spent really anywhere else. So
yeah.
So we're trying to give Marvin Harrison Jr. money right out of the draft, but
he's going to be making a lot right out of the draft, though.
We do agree. Yeah, he is. We do agree on Justin Jefferson there for agreement number 4. So let's head over to the MLB. Just in general, what division are you seeing the most fun baseball out of? I know that we talked about most competitive division before the season started, but which one are you really enjoying watching here?
Hey, there we go.
The AL East, let's talk.
So I think we said the most competitive division in the earlier episodes was the AL East, and it has been the most competitive, which is why it's the most fun this year to watch, right? I mean, separating the entire division is 4.5 games. The Rays, who are in 5th place right now, are only 1 game under 500. And, I mean, in a division with the Orioles. Are they? Well, I took notes a couple of days ago, so they probably are now if they won last night. No, but you got teams like the Orioles, the young, up-and-coming team. The Yankees, of course, very historic, very great. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays are playing well right now. And then the Rays, if you're a baseball fan, everybody loves the Rays. Like, I mean, they're the small market team that always does well. Well, what's not to like about them?
And when we talk about fun, I think even the storylines for some of the teams are really interesting. You know, the Vladimir Guerrero situation.
Yeah.
Can he get back into speed? Can the Red Sox still kind of compete with all the injuries they have into their pitching? I think not even just skill wise, but like storyline wise, I think it's definitely.
Yeah. Not to mention the AL MVP frontrunner comes from that division right now, Juan Soto. So.
Absolutely. All right. So as Kyle was talking about storylines as they get number 5, we're going to talk about other storylines, which is in the NBA. Have we seen the trademark moment of this first round? If so, what was it? Definitely in terms of highlight plays, we've seen some stuff here with DiVincenzo. We've seen the Jamal Murray game winner. But overall,
that's what I had. Okay.
They have the 2 things I just named. Kyle, go for it.
Me? Okay. So I don't disagree with that answer that Brennan gave, that Jamal Murray, Hail Mary over everyone to win that game too. But I think that Knicks win in game two, kind of controversially, is a lot more butterfly effect more than I think the Jamal Murray Hail Mary was there. Because I mean, obviously the double bang by Mike Breen, that always helps with it being a trademark moment. Sixers filed a grievance to replay the game. So that's how you know the impact of the game was that important, is that they just like, we need to replay this. It's how good this game was. Okay. I'll let Brennan go.
Yeah.
I have like more to say.
So I kind of took this question as what is the trademark play of the first round, not like the moment, because if it's the moment, then I can definitely get behind what Kyle's saying. But I took this as the play, and I don't think we're going to see a play as great as what Jamal Murray did against Anthony Davis. I mean, that man has been on the wrong end of too many game winners. No, but Jamal Murray's that game winner, just a mid-range floater, that's my specialty in basketball. So, of course, little shout out to Jamal Murray. I can appreciate it.
Respects Gabe.
Bro just compared himself to Jamal Murray. Your time is done.
That's right.
All right. And Brennan, just a reminder, the question was moment. So let's talk.
Okay.
Okay. Again, I don't disagree with that. I think that was before. Which one happened first? I think it was about
the Knicks game happened first.
The Knicks game, yeah,
the
same night.
Look, that was a great shot by Dante DiVincenzo. Like, great 3-pointer there.
Yeah.
But I think when you talk about, again, I said the butterfly effect. What is this gonna apply to later on in the entirety, not even of just that series, but the entire conference? Because I think that changes your mindset if you lose game 2 at home. That changes your mindset for the entire rest of the series. But now you have to go into their barn with a series tied 1-1 and hopefully take a game from them there. And now that it's 2-0, the mindset is completely different. It's like, sure, we don't want to lose, but we can lose one and we can still have a good game at home. And I think just in general, I think the Nuggets were favored moreover by the majority of the public than over the Lakers than Philly was over New York.
Yeah. All right. If you want to talk about trademark moment, like disregarding the play, like on the corner stuff, I think I agree with you fully here that this is going to be the trademark of the first round, because not only is it going to affect the rest of the first round, it might affect the entire playoffs and how the officiating is called because of that one play. I mean, even the NBA came out and said they made a mistake. So I will agree with you that will agree with you like in terms of moment.
Yeah. So 6 agreements.
Not to say that was not a great play by Jamal Murray. That wasn't true.
It was. Give flowers. That was still like the trademark play of the first round. But in terms of moment, Kyle.
So 6 agreements, and Kyle's giving me a ton of great options for segues off of here. But we're going to take the butterfly effect one and talk about the MLB butterfly effect. So in terms of changes that it may bring for future seasons and such like that, what do we think is the most impactful storyline that we've seen in this early MLB season? All right, I like Brennan's answer. And I understand Kyle's answer. Let's go, Brennan.
All right, so the question was asking, like, what stands out as the most impactful storyline and, like, in terms of causing change in the future. And I think the most plausible thing that Korey listed, like, the most plausible thing that can happen is pitching injuries. I mean, you can rework the pitch clock a little bit. You can change stuff. You can make rules at lower leagues to limit the amount of pitches that are thrown, which I think is already a rule. But you can further those rules. In terms of Kyle's answer, super teams, I really don't see where you can go with that, because if a team wants to spend money, like, the MLB is obviously going to allow it.
Let's hear where he's going with it. Kyle, 35
seconds. Brennan, don't disagree with anything you're saying there, and I think we might get to an agreement here. But I say super teams because personally, I've never been a big fan of the no salary cap in the MLB. Mm-hmm. I think it's really stupid. I think now more than ever we're seeing teams literally paying players individually more than other teams are spending on their payroll, which I think is ludicrous. I think it's a bad precedent for the sport. The parity is not going to be there at all. I just don't like it. But again, I think your answer is better. Being quite honest with you, I think your answer for baseball moving forward is a lot more important.
Then we're going to call it agreement on that.
There you
Pitching injuries is going to be the most impactful storyline going forward. I do see where you were coming from on there, Kyle, to begin with. So we let the fire on that NBA discussion kind of lower a little bit. So now let's bring it back up. Let's talk about these officiating moments. So off the bat, what, if anything, do officials need to change about how they do their job between the regular season and in the NBA playoffs? And your opinion may have changed about that in the past week.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well,
all right. So Brennan has a very standard answer. Let's hear what he's got.
All right. So with Kyle's answer, I think we can definitely reach an agreement here. I said they can't change how they officiate calls in between the regular season and the playoffs. Okay, so that call in the regular season, like the whatever happened in that Sixers game, that's getting called in the regular season 10 out of 10 times. Well, I'm sure of it 100%. So you can't just go into the playoffs and stop calling these fouls just for more entertaining basketball. Like these players, they've been playing they played 82 games with these rules, these strict fouls, and you can't just go and change that after 1 week of basketball.
Yeah. And Kyle agrees with that, but wants to create some change in that. So Kyle, what you got?
So I said I think we had I didn't realize that we were kind of in agreement here, but I just said we have a watchful eye out for any possible foul, particularly in the only sport that in North America that you can challenge fouls, because if you disagree with the foul, whatever, you have the ability to change that. But particularly for big games, we talked about the game 2 for Philly and New York, big games like that are literally the game changing, season changing, series changing, whatever changing you want to say. That you might be more lax towards that for the regular season, but you have to lock in for the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hear it. Let's talk.
Yeah, so I think we agree. You gotta watch for fouls. Yeah. Regular season, postseason, you can't change anything really.
Okay. I will say this just to throw in my 2 cents. That play of them all wrestling together.
Yeah.
And, the definite over the back fouls that happened on that Isaiah Hartenstein rebound. That was some really cool stuff to watch. But the second that starts in a regular season game, it's getting called.
It's getting fouled. Yeah, and I mean, and I think the NBA. Ooh, I'm hearing myself a lot. But I think the NBA totally. This is just going on a little chain. I think they need to lower the amount of foul calls to begin with in the regular season too, and just let the players play, because it seems like everything is a foul in the NBA these days. So but that's just my opinion.
Went against your own answer there. I mean,
if they
reduce, but then keep everything standard.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they need to be consistent. If they want to call these fouls, then that's up to them. That's not me. I may disagree with it, but if you want to call them, you want to call them. But at least call them in the postseason too. Just be consistent.
Brennan, let's continue.
All right.
All right. Let's move in to another, I guess, NBA question. So we saw Jokic's big 25 and 22 game. I think it was 27 and 22 game. We also saw Siakam's 35-plus game in game 2. So of those 2 types of games, a high scorer or a stat filler, what do you want to see if you want to win an NBA playoff game? All right, and they agree.
Okay, yeah,
so
I just said.
Let's talk about that stat filler game. What's so essential about it?
Why don't you go first, Kyle?
All right, so I said, high scoring affairs during the regular season, that's great. We saw Luka score 70 some points. We saw whoever score however many points. That's awesome in the regular season, but come playoff time, you need everyone to fill in their role and do it at 110%. A team shouldn't rely on one player to bring them to the promised land points wise. Because historically, winning teams, they have that share of offense. You see what the Warriors have done with the Splash Bros and Draymond Green. You see what LeBron has done in their history. He has to have Chris Bosh. He has to have Dwayne Wade. That being said, Miles Turner in the Siakam game, Miles Turner had 22. Andrew Nemhard got 20. So they did spread the level a little bit. I think what this question is asking is, would you rather have the guy go for 40 every night? Would you rather have the guy getting the rebounds, getting the assists? And personally, I'd rather have a guy like Jokic.
Yeah, no, I mean, same. It's just point scoring, it does a lot, but when you're actively participating in other areas of the ball, or in the game, like Jokic is, I mean, he's dishing out assists, he's having blocks, he's getting rebounds. Like, you need those to win too. Like, it's not just points.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I couldn't agree more on that. So, I mean, we got time to kill. So, I do have a question, Brennan. Would you rather see like Tyrese Halliburton get like a 10-point triple double, or would you want to see like a 35-point from Siakam? Because on your team specifically, one seems more essential than the other, but both are happening.
I'd rather, if Tyrese puts up 10, that's like, I want to see Tyrese put up like 10 points, like 20 assists, because if he's only scoring 10, he better like 20 assists or something, and then like, I don't know, like 10 rebounds. He really doesn't get rebounds or anything like that. But that would be sick. I'd love to see Tyrese eclipse 20 rebounds in a playoff game. Or not rebounds, assists in a playoff game.
Okay. And with that in mind, let's go to our final question of the episode. You guys have 9 agreements. Let's get to 10th. And let's circle it all the way back to what we talked about at the very top of this, which is the Capitals and the Rangers. And we talked about Alex Ovechkin. He got blamed by his coach as being the reason the Capitals are losing this series, as they're saying that he's a non-factor here. What do you think the real reason, if it's not Ovechkin, is why they're losing the series here? If you had to point to one thing.
I kind of pointed to multiple things.
I mean,
Okay.
All
right. So Kyle is blaming Ovechkin. Let's talk about it, Kyle.
Fully blaming Ovechkin because right now he's done absolutely nothing. He may as well be a sack of potatoes on the ice right now because, again, he has 1 shot through 2 games. For a guy that is literally second all-time in goals, you would imagine he'd be shooting the puck a little bit more. And if I'm being quite honest with you, it's not a great look for the guy who's done so consistently well. Finally won a cup in 2018. I think honestly he should hang up the skates. Maybe at this point, I don't know because I think he's easily a Hall of Famer. But I think that is the fact that they're relying so much on a guy who's doing literally nothing. All
right, and Brennan, do you think there are more explanations here?
I mean, you can blame Ovechkin, and he is a huge part of it. I mean, I think he, what's it called? He allowed a shorthanded goal off a turnover at center ice, which was not great. But that's Ovechkin's game. Ovechkin only scores goals. That is his job, and he's not doing that. The team sucks. But you have to look at other areas too. The penalty kill, and the power play, this series especially, have been atrocious for the Washington Capitals. Absolutely garbage. I mean, I think they went 0 for 4 in Game 1 on the power play, and then they allowed a shorthanded goal in Game 2. But overall, too, the team's just not that good.
All right. So the real question is then, is Ovechkin, if Ovechkin was playing well, does that change whether or not the Capitals have a chance in this series?
To be fair, in all phases of the game, they are not performing at a playoff team level. And they really haven't been even before getting into the playoffs. Again, you talked about I think they had the lowest point differential as a playoff team.
In the playoffs, negative 37.
Yeah. So on literally every level in the league, or at every statistical level, they are not performing at the level they have to do. So again, I talked about shots on goal. You talked about the negative point differential and how they're not doing very well on the penalty kill. It's just a very tired team. It looks like.
It is. It's a tired team, and it's not just Ovechkin who's getting old too. I mean, TJ Oshie has to be getting up there in age. John Carlson's got to be getting up there in age. Like, they're kind of like in the same situation as the Penguins, although Sidney Crosby is a significantly better player than Ovechkin is.
Athlete. He's a better athlete than Ovechkin. I'm not sure.
I don't know, because like I said, Ovechkin only scores goals. Like, Crosby can do it all.
Yeah.
Crosby can do it all, but it's just an old. They're not. The Capitals aren't really a playoff team, and again, like I said at the beginning of the episode, they just snuck in there because the rest of the Eastern Conference at that level where they were was not that great.
All right.
But I can make the argument that a lot of them would do better right now
Oh, I can't too. I mean, I
there
think
are teams who could have made the cut that I think would hold their.
I think the Penguins could have at least won a. I think the Devils could have at least won a game. I mean, I don't know.
I would have liked to see New Jersey in the playoffs. I think they could have had.
I honestly,
streak.
I think Buffalo could have at least won one game against the Rangers.
All right,
Maybe.
so we need to stop. Giving Brennan a platform. So with that being said, we're going to close the episode here today because our two analysts have reached 10 agreements on some very basic questions here, and hopefully the NFL draft is as much of a cakewalk for some teams here as it was for these two analysts today. So,
It's going to be a wild draft. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be chaos.
So, anything you guys want to say before we sign off?
Go follow us on all social medias. You know, we're going to get the content buzzing. Korey, he's finishing up with school, so he's going to be editing soon. I've been busy, but we're going to get back on the grind, and then we have some other things planned, too. We have a special guest coming on the show soon. He's very, very big on Twitter. I think he has like 14,000 followers or something like that. So we're getting the big guns here on Banterball. But outside of that, the content-wise, we're going to be doing a lot over the summer, so make sure you stay tuned for that.
And Kyle, anything you want to add?
Steelers, let's draft either a receiver or offensive lineman. That's exactly what I want to happen.
What if you trade for Ayuk? Just a question there. You okay with
very,
that?
Very wonderful. Do something because they've been real aggressive now, so I want them to just keep pounding.
All right, and that's been the show. Thank you for listening to the Banter Ball podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. As Brennan said, keep up with all the social media platforms, and we will talk at you again next week. Bye.